For every beloved anime character, there are also some who are hated by everyone, starting with a character so hated that she sparked rage in the hearts of thousands. Gaby Brawn, a child soldier who shot one of the most beloved characters in Attack on Titan, and yet her actions were unforgivable. That moment, that one fatal shot, made a lot of fans want to reach into their screens and shake her. And it's not just about Sasha's death. Gaby was a living reminder of how the cycle of hatred in Attack on Titan destroys everything it touches. This wasn't an accidental mistake. This was a calculated action made in cold blood, but Gaby didn't stop there. She continued to antagonize the very people who were trying to make peace. Her arrogant speeches, her self-righteous attitude, the way she just won't stop. It's like she's the embodiment of everything wrong with the cycle of violence in the world, and no matter how much she tries to justify her actions, there's no coming back from it. But unlike her, there is also a man who lost everything: family, friends, even his comrades in arms. But through it all, he never let bitterness consume him. Levi's friends were brutally taken from him, yet he stands tall, still fighting, still protecting humanity. He may be cold, but that's just his way of dealing with the pain. His humanity shines brightest when he fights for others, not for himself. Levi's pain is a constant, but so is his strength. He represents the quiet, unspoken kind of heroism. He's not in it for the glory or the recognition. It's just who he is. That's why fans love him. His loyalty, his dedication, his pure ability to protect those he loves, and at last episode, the way he remembered everyone who dedicated their hearts for sake of humanity was literally so heartbreaking. But we can't say the same thing for our next character as she speaks all of her own brother. The mere mention of her name can trigger intense frustration. From her first appearance, Flamp quickly solidified herself as one of the most despised characters in One Piece fandom. Personally, Luffy's battle with Katakuri on Whole Cake Island was one of my favorite fights, as Katakuri earned everyone's respects by stabbing himself with spear for a fair fight with injured Luffy. But still, she started speaking ill of them and judged them by their appearance, and also tried interrupting between the fight. Her actions, her words, are a constant reminder that not all characters are deserving of our empathy. And yet, she continues to linger, irking fans with every scene. But later on, that was damn satisfying when Luffy and Katakuri knocked her out with their clash of Supreme Haki. And it feels so good when she got knocked out thinking that Luffy can use the Supreme Haki too. I only saw Katakuri protecting his family from intruders, but she still decided to hate at him by his appearance. But when there is hate, there is also love. And Marco the Phoenix is the living embodiment of why we cherish certain characters. A warrior who has seen the worst of battles and yet never loses his sense of duty. Marco's heroism isn't defined by his strength alone, but by his compassion and his willingness to protect those who are important to him. Marco was one of the most unfortunate characters from One Piece who lost everything during the war. He had to deal with the betrayal of his friend Teach, lost his dear friend Thatch. His best friend Ace died in front of his very eyes. He loses his longtime captain Edward Newgate. Whitebeard pirates also lose their status and all territory in the New World when they once ruled the waves. Marco then reunites with Nico and Izo, goes to help Luffy and Wano, and we a sprinkle of hope. But Marco again lost Izo, and Marines raided his captain's homeland while he's away. Still, he decided to protect Luffy during Marineford War and also helped Straw Hats during fight with Kaido in Wano, because he believed that Luffy is the one who keeps Ace's will alive, and Marco was so useful in both the war till now. Just imagine Marco pulling with awakened mythical Zoan Devil Fruit in final battle. I want to hear from you guys about this in comment section. So now, let's move on to the next character, who has received the title of Trash from her own fandom, Sakura Haruno. A character who sparks a level of frustration that few can match. Her constant complaints, her obsession with Sasuke, and her overall lack of growth in the early parts of Naruto made her the target of some of the harshest criticism in anime history. It's not that she wasn't capable of greatness, it's that she refused to embrace it, choosing to fall back on the people around her rather than growing into her own power. She is usually poorly written. Because of this, there are multiple moments in the manga that piss readers off. She has some moments in part 1 but is largely thrown to the side, and at the end of part 1 she is reduced to crying for Naruto to bring Sasuke back. At the start of part 2, she is very well written and seems to be making some real character growth and development. Unfortunately, as Shippuden progresses, it is undermined. She tries to take on the Sasuke problem herself, only to fail miserably and look like a complete asshat doing it. In the war, she just turns into a Sasuke fanboy. Naruto literally saves her from Madara, and she's like, "Don't worry about me." But in the next fucking panel, she expresses disappointment because Sasuke didn't say anything to her. Like, what the heck? In part 1, the useless theme is half warranted, although she has some moments of usefulness. But by the time Shippuden starts, her character is anything but useless. It's just the way Kishi chose to write her makes her seem useless. She's still a good fighter and is a great medic, so she's not useless at all. It's when her poorly written personality gets in the way that people get pissed and call her useless. Fans waited for her to have that breakthrough moment, but the wait was agonizing. She kept hitting Naruto, and she also hated him too, but there was a character who loved and inspired Naruto so much. The legendary Sasuke, a character who made us laugh, cry, and believe in the power of mentorship. Jiraiya's love for Naruto and his unwavering belief in the younger generation made him a beacon of hope, even in the darkest of times. His mentorship with Naruto and his final moments. Jiraiya didn't just fight to protect the world, he fought to inspire those who would carry the torch after him. His death, a heartbreaking moment that left a void in our hearts, was a testament to his selflessness. The legacy of Jiraiya lives on through Naruto and through us, as fans who will never forget the lessons he taught us. His love for others, his willingness to sacrifice himself for the future, is why we hold him in such high regard. But what happens when a character, no matter how hated, finally finds redemption? What if the characters we despise so deeply are given a chance to show us the other side of the coin? Is there hope for Gaby, Flamp, or Sakura? Or have they sealed their fate in our hearts forever? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the most loved and hated characters in anime, hit that subscribe button and let me know on what topic should I make next video about.